Good morning. Welcome to the Premium Public Video Forecast discussion for Friday, February 20th, 2026. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino, CDM number 9. Well, we have a lot to talk about. And as I was saying, and I'm going to put at the end of this video, looking back at the live chat we did on Wednesday, the primary question with this forecast has been, will the ridge over the Rockies remain locked in long enough to support a coastal storm? Or is this a glancing blow? And also, we went over the GFS, which again has some serious issues. And I'm sure you've all seen the projection of snowfall of as much as 30 inches in southern New Jersey. Why don't I buy it? Well, I'm going to explain all that now. So that way you have an understanding of where we're at. One of the features that we've been keeping an eye on, and we're now within 30 hours, is this ridge axis. And it is awfully close to Boise, if not almost over it. This is on Saturday morning, tomorrow morning. The reason why this is important is that you must have this ridge axis stay in place through the afternoon hours to allow for amplification of this short wave that is diving into this very muted trough and southeast ridge down here to intensify just at the right time before exiting very quickly because there's no blocking in the Atlantic. So this is a hallmark thread the needle situation. And a lot of the model guidance this last night and this morning basically are lining up the ridge just to make it just enough. Now, here's the caveat here. If this is off by just a little bit, this storm ends up further east, and you have to back off on the snowfall. If the ridge lines up long enough, then you might have to increase some snowfall even on the immediate coastal plain. Very, very fine details here. And while I have been steadfast in thinking that this idea of 1 to 2 feet that some guidance is showing for Washington all the way up to New York City was not likely to happen, I was on board with the idea of some sort of glancing blow. And that looks like that is becoming more and more likely, especially as you are towards the New Jersey coast and on Long Island. So this leads to several complicated factors here, because this setup here that takes shape as this dives in features, along with all this, an inverted trough. Why is that a problem? Well, when you take a look at 700 millibar omega, you basically end up with lifting here and lifting here. Someone is going to miss out and be very upset if they love snow in between these two lifting areas. And there's going to be potential for some overperformance under these two areas of lifting, which leads to a heck of a problem, because not only do you have strong lifting, but you also have a marginal boundary layer. And before this storm hits, temperatures are going to be in the upper 30s to lower 40s over the northern interior, near 50 degrees tomorrow in Philadelphia. The reason why that's important is that your boundary layer and your surface, especially the pavement, is going to be awfully warm. The strong lifting could counteract that, but not everywhere. So you can end up with a lot of hit and miss scenarios here in terms of this forecast, which leads to a whole lot of volatility. So that's where we're at with the guidance. And overall, a lot of the model guidance and a lot of the dynamics that set up this pattern kind of go along with this idea. Again, why am I not buying into the GFS? You know, a lot of people say, hey, look, it's been awfully consistent. And again, here is some of the ensemble guidance. Let's see if we got 060 guidance coming in. Here we are. Okay, so the 060 guidance definitely shows the signs of this inverted trough. There's our low pressure system tracking just southeast of the benchmark here, close enough to push that moderate band of snow into the immediate coastal plain. But why am I not buying into the GFS? Well, first, let me find it. Okay, so here is the GFS solution. And again, it just continues to drop just an insane amount of snow here on the coastal plain. But notice these two low pressure systems. One that is, I don't know, like at this point, like 986, and one that is roughly maybe 984. Maybe this might be 976. In other words, intense and not as intense, but still a strong low. This low is much closer to where all the other Malgines, including the ensembles, is. This one is not. So what's going on here? Well, let me pull up 500 millibars. And I think then you'll see my, let's just say, skepticism on this solution. So, much like all the other Malgines, it takes the upper level low and dives it south. Then again, it once again goes Super Saiyan just to south of New Jersey. Problem is that the surface low is down here as well. The surface low should be here, where the secondary low is. I think what's happening is that the GFS is having a hard time basically dealing with the evolution of this upper level low, the quick exit, and the stretching in the atmosphere. So instead of creating an inverted trough, it's producing this monster low pressure system under the upper level low, which is a violation of meteorological law. So again, this is why I have extreme doubt that the GFS is correct here with dropping 30 inches of snow in southern New Jersey. And oh, by the way, its own ensembles ranges anywhere from 0 to 30 inches. That's right, 0 to 30 inches. So that should be a big warning sign. Something's not right here. So this is why I'm staying away from the GFS guidance, because I'm seeing all this error. I think what's really going to happen is that you get an inverted trough and you get this moderate band, and someone is caught in between, missing out on this snowfall. So when you consider those factors, and then you throw in what's going on at 850 millibars here, with our 850 millibar low intensifying out here like this, jet streak just far enough to support wind gusts right along the coast, possibly around 40 miles per hour, not sustained. Remember, a blizzard, I know a lot of people are talking about blizzards. Blizzards, you have to have sustained winds 35 miles per hour over, okay? This is not a blizzard, okay? It's not going to be blizzard conditions. Most likely, though, you will have winter storm watches put out if we continue to see this data here at 12Z. Why do I think the Malgines, we'll take out the GFS for a minute, but let's say all the other Malgines will likely consolidate around what I'm about to show you. Well, by this point, if we don't have the ability to forecast 24 hours out of the placement of a ridge and therefore the evolution of the trough downstream, then we have to have some major discussions about what we're doing with our observations and how it's influencing the model data. So what I am thinking as of right now is that our storm tracks just to the southeast of the benchmark, sets up a moderate band of moderate snowfall with some strong wind gusts along the immediate coast, New Jersey coast up through Long Island, ranging 4 to 8 inches. Now, one of the things I'm going to have to work on this afternoon is figuring out the boundary layer and how much of this 4 to 8 inches actually accumulates on the roadways as opposed to the grass, which is going to become a tricky issue here. So it's something that we're definitely going to have to watch out for. As far as timing, looking at this on Sunday morning, it's like a rain-snow mix because temperatures are marginal. Then as we get into the afternoon and temperatures continue to cool with stronger lifting, that's when we'll start to see more accumulating snow Sunday afternoon through Monday morning. And yes, I'll probably have live coverage if this actual setup actually sticks. Now, as far as out here, this is your inverted trough. Your inverted trough is where we're looking at 3 to 6 inches. Again, I might have to bump this up to match this. We'll see based on what I'm getting with the afternoon data. But this is where you're going to get your 3 to 6 inches. Again, we're going to have to watch out to see about the boundary layers and all that stuff. What about in between? What's going on here? This I have 1 to 3. Okay, this is 1 to 3 inches of snow. Same time period. Everything's the same in terms of the timing. Here is the issue with this, right? You're between this area lifting and this area lifting. So you could end up with 4 inches here in, let's say, Freehold and 1 inch or less in Princeton and Trenton. You could end up with 4 inches here on Long Island and struggling to get an inch in Newark because you're going to have strong lifting here, strong lifting here. There has to be sinking air somewhere in between these two bands. which is just great. That's the type of gradient that I want to see for a forecast of 1 to 6 inches in this small little area right here. So this is going to be a bit more complicated as a result. Could this shift east? Yes. Could this shift west? Yes, although questionable. Okay. It's more likely this shifts east and we cut down than it shifts west and we increase. It's more likely that the GFS shifts more to what we're seeing here than producing 30 inches of snow out here. Okay. I don't think anyone is ready to buy that idea. Well, some people are, but I think most meteorologists in the National Weather Service are not ready to buy into the GFS solution because it just doesn't make any sense based on everything we know about how these storms form. You don't have the deepest low right under the upper level low unless the storm is starting to weaken rapidly. This is, well, it's intensifying. So that's what I'm thinking right now based on the data. And that's what I meant this morning when I said, hey, look, when you have observational data that's starting to point in one direction, you have to make adjustments. So that's what we did here. So let's walk through the overall forecast. For today, we have, and well, let's take a look at the observations first. Okay, so we have a warm front lifting through, warm air is invading, wintry mix up here to the north of the forecast area in the Catskills here. We have a rain snow mix changing over to rain. Warm air is going to win the fight on this one with temperatures in the lower to mid 30s over the far northern interior right now, mid to upper 30s over the rest of the interior, upper 30s to lower 40s in the New York City metro, lower to mid 40s in the Philadelphia metro. There's our waves of rainfall. In fact, let me take off the infrared satellite here, and you can see the intense rainfall here. Pretty good amount of rainfall around here, about moderate to a heavy downpours at times, lifting through, producing about a quarter to maybe a half an inch of rain around the region. There's our wintry mix lifting northward, probably an inch or two. Watch out for some slick roadways. And again, here is our infrared satellite picture with that strong lifting for today as our rain lifts through. On the water vapor satellite picture, there's our one upper level low. This is going to head up towards the Great Lakes. We wait for this feature to come in and how these features interact with each other. And the jet stream, again, no blocking here in the Atlantic. This is all progressive around this upper level low. The key is the development of this ridge right here. If it spikes and sticks tomorrow morning, right around Idaho, right around Boise, Idaho, in fact. Let's be really specific here. Not to the east, okay, not to the west, but right over, then you end up with that moderate band. I don't think this ends up to the west. Haven't seen any model data that supports anything closer to like Seattle or anything of that nature. There is still that potential here that this shifts east more towards Montana, which then leads to this track shifting further east. You might be asking, Steve, why isn't it good enough to be in Montana? If we had a true negative NAO block, it would be. But because we don't, fine details here are what matter. So that's where we are in our observation. So currently right now we have our waves of rainfall lifting through today. High temperatures in the lower to mid 40s over the interior and New York City metro. Upper 40s to lower 50s in the Philadelphia metro. For tonight into tomorrow morning, look for variable cloud cover and isolated rain and snow shower lingering around. Low temperatures in the lower to mid 30s. For tomorrow afternoon, scattered to broken cloud cover. Again, an isolated shower is possible. High temperatures will range from the upper 30s to lower 40s over the northern interior, lower to mid 40s in the New York City metro, upper 40s to lower 50s in the Philadelphia metro. Again, pretty warm out ahead of this storm, right? So again, this is a factor for our boundary layer. I'm not saying it can't snow when it gets this warm, but you have to consider this when you're talking about accumulation on pavement, okay? So which we'll work on this afternoon. For Saturday night into Sunday morning, our low pressure system starts to organize to the south. We have rain snow showers around the region. Low temperatures will range from the lower to mid 30s. As we go on through the afternoon, again, rain snow showers around the area starting to become consolidated and concentrated. Our temperatures will range from the mid to upper 30s throughout the region to start this event. As we move on through the afternoon into the evening hours, the temperatures fall. We see again, there is our inverted trough. Here comes our moderate band of snow trying to push into the coastal plain, pushing that potential for that snowfall again right on the immediate coast. And because temperatures are going to be falling from the mid to upper 30s into the upper 20s to lower 30s over the interior and mid to upper 20s over the interior, that's when you're going to have your best potential for accumulating snow throughout the region. Once we get into Monday morning, with our temperatures below freezing and our moderate band first pushing into the Jersey Shore, then moving through Long Island, lighter snowfall over, again, a lot of northern New Jersey, clipping portions of northeastern New Jersey, Philadelphia. You have your inverted trough dropping away. So again, this is probably a lot more scattered. So again, the potential here for somebody missing out and barely getting an inch is high in this setup. While this is all happening, our low pressure system begins to pull away, lingering scattered snow showers on Monday afternoon with high temperatures ranging from the lower to mid 30s. Monday night into Tuesday morning, we clear out with low temperatures falling off into the mid to upper teens over the northern interior, lower to mid 20s in the suburbs, mid to upper 20s in your urban areas. Tuesday afternoon, scattered cloud cover, tranquil conditions but chilly, with high temperatures in the upper teens to lower 20s over the northern interior, mid to upper 20s along the coast. On Wednesday, a clipper drops through with a warm front with some scattered rain and snow showers moving through the region. Look for low temperatures to range from the lower to mid teens over the northern interior and in your suburbs, upper teens to lower 20s in your urban areas. High temperatures will rebound into the mid to upper 30s over the northern interior, upper 30s to lower 40s in the New York City metro, lower to mid 40s in the Philadelphia metro. On Thursday, we have another low pressure system approaching and a cold front with increasing cloud cover and showers towards evening. Look for low temperatures to range from the lower to mid 30s over the northern interior, mid to upper 30s along the coast. High temperatures in the lower to mid 40s over the northern interior, mid to upper 40s in the New York City metro, upper 40s to mid 50s in the Philadelphia metro, and possibly some mid to upper 50s down towards southern New Jersey. We'll see how long it takes for this cold front to approach. We could actually touch 60 degrees in Philadelphia if we get enough clearing and sunshine on Thursday. Talk about a roller coaster of temperatures, right? Then we get to Friday, the cold front exits, scattered cloud cover is expected with chillier conditions, low temperatures in the lower to mid 20s over the northern interior, upper 20s to lower 30s along the coast, high temperatures in the upper 30s to lower 40s over the northern interior, lower to mid 40s along the coast. So we'll be keeping an eye on this storm. I'll have updates this afternoon. If everything locks in as I currently have forecasted, we'll issue public maps. And of course, we'll have the live coverage for this weekend if everything continues to hold as it is. That's your premium public video forecast discussion for today. Have a wonderful day. And as always, stay safe out there.